hesitate. Don't hesitate. Oh yeah. Yeah, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it, man. Y'all most definitely hit that like button on y'all way in. Y'all great people, hit that like button on y'all way in. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Tucker Army, UK Army. Tucker Army, UK Army. Let's talk about it. Much love and respect. Y'all most definitely hit that like button on y'all way in. Yeah, we're gonna talk about it today. We're gonna talk about it. Give me a second. I'm just sharing this live a few places. You know what I mean? Our connection is good. Excellent connection. Great, great, great. Good connection. For the people that's joining me live right now, y'all guys let me know if you guys can hear me really good in the chat. You guys let me know if you can hear me real good in the chat. Can you hear me loud and clear? Is what I'm trying to say. Yeah, we're gonna talk about this, man. We got to. Yeah, give me a, yeah, I'm just all I'm doing is sharing the live. That's all I'm doing right now. Give me a second. Let me copy that. All right, so let me get started. You got a lot of people, man. A lot of people. Okay, nobody responding yet. You know, I don't know if I don't know if y'all who's joining me right now can hear me loud and clear. I should be good though, and I believe so. Um, I should be good. But anyways, all right. All right, so yeah, like let me check my audio real quick. Yo, 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 yo. Okay, it's good. Check my settings real quick. Yo, yo. All right, perfect, perfect. I think it's good enough for me. I think I could take that up to 80. Take the volume up to 80. I think we good. All right. Let me get out of here. Yoshi Adams, welcome to the live stream, my great brother. My great brother Yoshi Adams, welcome to the live stream. Much love and respect to you, my great brother. Good day to you as well, man. Much love and respect. Tucker Army, UK Army, Tucker Army. Much love and respect. Hey, but a lot of people hating on this fight, man. They're acting like you know, a warm up fight, or you know, I don't even consider this as a warm up fight. I think this is a keep busy fight type of fight. And just because you don't know who Jermaine Franklin is doesn't mean he's not a good fighter, bro. I don't understand. You guys think you're supposed to tear down a fighter just because you don't know the fighter. His first defeat, Jermaine Franklin's first defeat, was to Dillian White. Now I know it's a lot of disrespectful boxing fans. You know, so I know it's a lot of people that think they know boxing, but they really don't. Or they just don't respect the fighters. But Dillian White is a great fighter. He's a very solid, very dangerous boxer puncher. He's been in the top 10. Once was at the top 5, top 10 for a long time now. And he's up there for a reason. Can anybody ask me why Dillian White has been top 10 and top 5 for a couple of years now? Can anybody ask me why he's been top 10 or maybe once at the top in top 5? I don't think he's no longer in the top 5, but he's still top 10. Heavyweight, one of the top 10 heavyweights in the heavyweight division. Can anybody ask me why? Because if you don't know why, I can tell you right now. Because he has one of the best resumes in the heavyweight division. Because Dillian White has one of the best resumes in the heavyweight division. I mean, you guys are constantly coming at this young fighter, bro. Coming at this young fighter. And we know that Anthony Joshua has one of the best resumes. We know that he's a great fighter. But we can't show respect to Jermaine Franklin. Y'all so quick to throw dirt on a fighter name. And y'all so quick to say cherry pick, but don't know nothing about the fighter. Just because the fighter lost to Dillian White, it was a close fight. Some people had Jermaine Franklin winning the fight. Some people had Dillian White winning the fight. But I guess you guys don't respect Dillian White as a fighter either. Certain people, it's a certain group of boxing fans, a certain group of content creators that like to hate on the fighters, disrespect the fighters. But not going to give him not going to give him the recognition, and not going to give him his credit, not going to give him his props, not going to give him the respect, and not going to give him the credit of beating top dangerous fighters and having good fighters on his resume. So I guess you don't give Dillian White that credit. Okay, I guess you guys can hold him accountable. He's been interim, but he never has been champion. But not knowing that he was able to collect a few belts. I guess not the major title, so I guess just because not collecting a major title, it doesn't count. Forgetting that he's a fighter that's fighting out of the United Kingdom. Not giving him credit for his resume, not giving him credit for the fighters he's beaten and have lost to and have beaten. Not acknowledging, not recognizing him as one of the top 10 heavyweights. So once upon a time was considered one of the top 5 best heavyweights and having one of the best resumes. Well, guess what? This young man right here, Jermaine Franklin, he stepped in the ring and he challenged himself. He challenged himself against the best. He went up against the best. This young man is feeling some type of way. Now, I felt that, this is the perfect opponent for Anthony Joshua. This is the perfect opponent to see where Joshua is at, to see where the former 2-time unified heavyweight champion is at, to see where he's at. This is a perfect opponent. This is not no cherry pick. I'm so sick and tired of y'all. Yoshi Adams says AJ dangerous early rounds. Can see Franklin stopping AJ in the later rounds. Yeah, and that's a high possibility. Yoshi Adams is a high possibility. But I think that this is a great fight between two boxer punchers. You know what I'm saying? I think this is a great fight between two boxer punchers. This is a great fight. People is saying this is a cherry pick. No, this is not an easy fight for Anthony Joshua. And if he goes in there and make it look easy, he was just the better man on that night. Excuse me. He was just the better man on that day or that evening, that night. But Franklin is not an easy opponent. If Franklin gets in there, make it a very challenging fight for the experienced veteran in Anthony Joshua, for the former 2-time unified heavyweight champion. If you go in there and make it a difficult fight, I would not be surprised. Because I know that this kid can fight. I know that this kid can box. I know that this kid is a solid fighter. It would not surprise me. I ain't just looking at, I'm not just judging based off the Dillian White fight. And that fight could have went either way. I slightly edged it to Dillian. Might be I need to go back and rewatch the fight a few more times. But the times I have watched the fight, it was very close between Jermaine Franklin and Dillian White. It was a close fight. It was a very competitive fight. It was a challenging fight for Jermaine Franklin. It was a challenging fight for Dillian White. And for Jermaine Franklin is feeling some type of way because him and his team felt that he won that fight. But you got to respect the young fighter, 29 years old. You got to respect the young fighter because he stepped up. He stepped up to fight one of the top dogs. Dillian White is one of the top dogs. Top 5, top 10, whatever. He stepped up to fight one of the top heavyweights in heavyweight boxing today. Dillian White is no easy fight. He is no easy opponent for no heavyweight. Whether you hate him or love him, whether you want to disrespect him or call him names or come after him, he is no easy opponent for no heavyweight. No easy opponent at all. At all. And Jermaine Franklin, wanting to be great, wanting to prove himself, stepped in the ring against one of the top dogs in the heavyweight division. He wants to fight the best guys out there. That's why he's in there against one of the best. That's why he's in there against one of the best. This is a major test. Another major test. Dillian White was a test. And now Anthony Joshua is a test. It's another major test for the young fighter. But this kid has the attributes. He has the skill. He has the abilities to get in there and make it a tough and very competitive and challenging fight for Anthony Joshua. This is not no easy fight for Joshua. Because boxing is full of surprises. A lot of people expect Joshua to get in there and knock this guy out, destroy this guy, which that can very well happen. A lot of people expecting Joshua just to run over this guy. And if it does happen, they're not going to give Joshua credit for beating a very talented, very tough, and dangerous boxer puncher, very skilled, young, talented fighter like a Jermaine Franklin. They're not going to give him credit for fighting the young fighter in Jermaine Franklin that can actually box, that has the skills to compete with a lot of heavyweights out there. He proved that he can compete with the top dogs. Whether you consider Dillian Whyte a top dog, Dillian Whyte a top contender, I'm sorry, a top one of the top heavyweights, top 5, top 10, whatever. If you don't consider him one of the best, then you don't know boxing. I'm sorry to tell you. This guy his first step up fight. The first true test was Dillian Whyte. Now he's in there against Joshua. He wants Deontay Wilder. He wants Tyson Fury. He wants all these guys. This is a very tough fight for Anthony Joshua. Now, if he goes in there and destroy this guy, then he was just the better fighter. But if this fight end up being a chess match that turns into a war, turns back into a chess match, become very competitive between two boxer punchers, if this becomes very competitive, I would not be surprised, because Jermaine Franklin only defeat was to Dillian Whyte that some people felt he won that fight. Some people felt he won. Some people felt he won. It was a very competitive fight. Some people felt he won. It was a good percentage of people felt he won, and it was a good percentage of people felt he lost in a close fight. So let me repeat that. It was a close fight. He stepped up, proved himself, showed his skills, showed his abilities. Now he's in better shape. And now he's going up against another top dog in Anthony, the two-time unified heavyweight champion, Anthony Joshua. Now he's stepping up, stepping up against another top dog, against another a very dangerous elite level fighter in Anthony Joshua. Now this is another major test. Y'all looking at this young fighter like y'all like to use the word cab driver. Y'all use those words. Y'all say bums. Y'all say a journeyman, a hype job, overrated, using all these words, but y'all don't really know the fighter. Maybe because the fighter hasn't fought anyone. I get that, but I don't like disrespecting these fighters, especially how can you disrespect a fighter that you don't even know? You don't even know this fighter. His only defeat was to Dillian Whyte, and that was a close fight. Some people felt he won that fight. That was his only loss, his only defeat. He was on a winning. He was undefeated, stepping in the ring with Dillian Whyte, and he should probably still be undefeated still to this day. I slightly edged it to Dillian Whyte in a very close fight. But I can go back and rewatch that fight and see something totally different. But at the times I seen those fights, those were close fights. I mean, that fight was a close fight. Franklin ain't no pushover. He is not no cherry pick. He is not nobody to look past. I know Joshua ain't looking past him. I know it's quite a few people that know the sport of boxing, that know Jermaine Franklin, ain't looking past him. It's the boxing fans looking past him. The boxing fans think they got all the answers, think they really know these fighters, think they have been in training camp with these fighters, they ain't really been following this fighter career for a good period of time, or don't even know the fighter. So quick to say, oh, it's a cherry pick. You don't know that. I'm telling you that this guy has the attributes and skills to give Joshua a very good competitive fight and a tough fight, and can possibly win the fight. Yeah, we expect Joshua to win, because he's the bigger name. Yeah, he has slightly the experience edge as far as fighting the top opposition, the top of the he's the top level guys. You know what I'm saying? The elite level skill heavyweights, that's the top 5. I mean the top 10. Yeah, Joshua has the experience, 2-time unified heavyweight champion. Yeah, we expect him to win, but boxing is full of surprises. You never know who's gonna win. And if you don't know this Jermaine Franklin, if you haven't been watching his fights, if you haven't been seeing this kid was undefeated before he stepped in the ring with Dillian Whyte. He stepped up. He wants to fight the best. He believes in his skills. He believes in his attributes. He believes in his talent. He's working. He got a great trainer. The kid can box. The kid can fight. The kid is a good counterpuncher, a dangerous boxer puncher. The kid can fight on the inside. The kid is going to make it a challenging fight. If Joshua gets in there and knock him out, then guess what? We just proved that he was a bigger and stronger fighter with punching power, and that had the skills to do so. But if it becomes a competitive fight, I would not be surprised, because these are two skilled boxer punchers going at it. Dillian White couldn't get this kid out of there. And I know we say that Joshua beat Dillian White. Well, okay, maybe so. And it's a fighter's style make fights. So when I combine the styles, and when I analyze the styles, and when I match up these styles, I see it being a competitive fight. I see that Joshua can't make certain mistakes. I see that Jermaine Franklin can't make certain mistakes. But I feel that it's going to be a nice, decent, competitive a chess match that turns into a war, that turns back into a chess match that becomes very competitive between two fighters going to be doing a lot of thinking, pushing each other and making each other dig down deep. I see that type of fight. I could be wrong. It could be a destruction of Jermaine Franklin, or it can be a very tough and competitive fight for Anthony Joshua, where it gets to the point where Jermaine Franklin is making them make some mistakes, and Joshua falls into those mistakes, because both of these guys is not just dangerous boxer punchers. Both of these guys are not just good counter punchers. Both of these guys is not just good at they don't just have boxing skills or the boxing ability to be able to make it a tough fight for each other, but these guys are thinking man fighters as well. And they got two trainers. They got two good trainers. Both of these fighters got good trainers that's been working with them, that's been pushing them, that's been perfecting their craft. I see this being a good fight. Is Jermaine Franklin a cherry pick? No, he is not a cherry pick. No, you don't know the kid. You saying he's a cherry pick because you don't know the fighter. You don't know the fighter. And do you think you have been watching his last 5 fights, you know what I'm saying, and you feel that he doesn't have what it takes to compete at on a certain level against certain opposition, against certain fighters on the top level. But guess what? I don't think you've been paying close attention. And you could be right and I could be wrong, but I just don't see it that way. I just think that this guy is a skilled, talented young fighter, and then he can box. He can work off his jab. He can stick and move. He can counter. He can throw combinations. He can be smart with mixing up his attack. He can move when he wants to move. The lateral movement, pivot. He can do certain things. It's that can most definitely make it a little tough for Joshua. Yeah, do I favor Joshua to win? Absolutely. Do I feel it's going to be a competitive fight? Do I feel like it's going to be a challenge for Joshua? Absolutely. Do I feel like this is the type of fight that Joshua needs to get him to get him back kind of like in the rhythm of things, and to get him to prepare him for certain fights? Absolutely. This is a nice decent fight for Joshua. You know what I'm saying? But this is a guy he can't overlook, and Joshua ain't overlooking this guy. He said it. I respect this man. You know what I'm saying? But Joshua looking to knock him out. He looking to destroy him. But Jermaine Franklin is looking to prove you guys and a lot of us wrong. And a lot of people that's not even giving him a chance, that don't know him, or that doesn't know that he's a skilled, solid, talented, young, dangerous boxer puncher, or, you know, and don't give him a chance, don't know what he possesses, don't know how skilled of a heavyweight, skilled of a fighter he is, and they just basically look at the name Jermaine Franklin. Oh, that's the guy that went. That's the guy that that lost in a close fight against the Dillian White. So, because people don't respect Dillian White, not knowing that he got one of the best resumes in the heavyweight division. So, of course, if they don't respect Dillian White, they're not going to respect Jermaine Franklin, and they feel that he's not ready for Anthony Joshua. They feel he's not ready for certain fights, but you don't know until they step in the ring, and you won't know unless you do your film study, and you won't know unless you watch the fights. Stop playing with me, man. Like, all this hate that y'all have, bro, like it's crazy. It's crazy to me. Let me see. I got some comments. Martin says if he doesn't destroy him, my brother Martin Harnett says if he doesn't destroy him, he's finished. You know what I'm saying? Now, if he doesn't destroy him, that's because Jermaine Franklin is is executing the game plan, is doing what he's supposed to do, and that is give Joshua a tough fight. If he don't destroy him, that's because he's in there against a very competitive. That's because Joshua's in a very competitive fight, and that's because he's in there with a very good fighter. That if he doesn't destroy him, it's because it's going to be a competitive fight and it's going to be a challenging fight, and he just and his opponent is just not making it easy for him just to easily destroy him. Think about that, my brother Martin. Think about that. Sly Tendency says, I don't dislike Anthony Joshua, but I feel like he's never been all in. When you lose after you became the champion so quickly, it can really go to your head. Yeah, but you lose as a champion against a great fighter in Alexander Usyk. So the thing is this, and I'm gonna get to the rest of the comments in a minute. So the thing is this: you lose to Andy Ruiz Jr., which is a very dangerous, really dangerous, fast hand boxer puncher with. You lose to Andy Ruiz Jr., which is a very dangerous boxer puncher with very fast hands. And that could be a smart fighter at times. I mean, and is a smart fighter when he wants to be, and they can make the adjustments and can break you down with actually, countering and setting up the combinations and being smart with his punch selection. So you're dealing with that type of style, right? You lose the first fight by making one little mistake, leave yourself wide open, try to go for the finish. Boom, he catches you with a good shot, not knowing that he's a dangerous fighter on the inside. So boom, that turns the fight completely around, and so you struggle. You keep getting up, letting people know that you're not trying to quit. So you keep getting up. This guy keep putting you down in Andy Ruiz Jr., but you get back up. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. Like, if you ain't the same fighter, why fight again? Come back in a rematch with a better game plan to work off your jab, set up the counter right hand, the right cross, boom, set up the hooks, boom, go to the body. Just outbox your opponent that is dangerous on the inside, so you got to stay on the outside. Use your reach, counter here, get in range, get out of range. You know what I'm saying? Fight him, beat him on the outside. Go to war with him a little bit on the inside, but don't stay in there for too long. So you fight a very competitive fight, in Andy Ruiz Jr., the second fight, and you win a decision, and then Joshua turn right back around, you know what I'm saying, and go up against an awkward style in Kubrat Pulev, and he outboxes him, and then he starts to make the adjustments and then start destroying Kubrat Pulev, and then he knocked him out. Then you go up against one of the best fighters in the world today, pound for pound. Then you go up against one of the slickest styles you can ever probably deal with in the heavyweight division, in the Alexander Usyk. And the thing is, people was just looking at Joshua can box. Joshua's big, he's strong, Usyk's smaller. But not knowing that Usyk was one of those fighters that had a lot of amateur bouts, won a couple of games, Olympic gold medalist, and just like Joshua, seen so many different styles, former cruiserweight, undisputed cruiserweight champion, beaten and went up against a lot of very difficult, very tough, dangerous styles and awkward styles. Been in there against some of the most methodical, like a Joe Joyce's and the amateurs and stuff, and even in the Super Series 6, I think that's what it was called. He became undisputed. Went up against certain fighters that's going to make you dig down deep, and that could probably beat you if you don't have the right game plan. Usyk was in there against a lot of these different styles, even in the amateurs, right? So, even in the games, he was just like already on a certain level. Maybe he may have seen all these different styles before. And maybe he knew how to kind of like, he knew what he was doing against these certain styles. I guess he knew what he was looking at every heavyweight that he's faced when he stepped up in the heavyweight division. I guess he knew what he was up against. You know what I'm saying? I guess he believes in his skills, his abilities. He believes in what he possesses as a great elite level superior pure boxer puncher. Alexander Usyk. I can't say conventional, but I guess like this guy just knew, that he was just probably one level above everybody else. So having that high confidence, believing in your skill set, believing in your abilities, like, not saying that Joshua didn't believe, but I knew that it was going to be a tough fight. I just had Joshua winning, maybe by knockout. But maybe Joshua push a little harder, but I just think that it was just a movement of Usyk. Even Fury, I believe, would struggle with that movement of Usyk. The footwork of Usyk, the in and out, the side to side, the circling, the pivoting, the lateral movement, just basically fast on your feet, just moving, moving different directions, throwing your fighter off, turning the fighter, the pivot game, the lateral movement, just the turning, all of that, just that great movement. Just that great movement of Usyk being fast, being like a cat, in and out, right, left, in, forward, back, go forward, then go backwards, and then right, left, then in and out, kind of like that Lomachenko, just the circling, just the pivoting, just the in and out. Just that type of style, it can be difficult for any, especially bigger heavyweights, especially for the bigger guys. Maybe Fury kind of knows this, that movement. Even he said it before, Fury knows that Alexander Usyk movement would most definitely give him problems, and to keep up with that pace could be difficult. This was coming from Tyson Fury. Correct me if I'm wrong. That was coming from Tyson Fury. So Tyson Fury know what he's up against when he's in there against Usyk. You know what I'm saying? I don't think size got nothing to do with that. Got nothing to do with when he faces Usyk. I think it's just I think it could just be the movement alone that could give him all kinds of problems. Not taking away from the skill and the abilities from Fury, Tyson Fury, great fighter. But man, you know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, Joshua goes in there, wins 4 to 5 rounds the first fight, wins 4 to 5 rounds the second fight. I know that getting in there with a great fighter like that really prepares you for any opponent. When you deal with a difficult style, elite level style like that, like a Alexander Usyk, that prepares you. You know what I'm saying? Iron sharpens iron. That prepares you for anybody and everybody when you're able to keep up with the pace of Alexander Usyk. If you're able to compete and win rounds against that type of style, that only motivates you as a fighter. That only encourages you as a fighter. That only gives you that boost that you need, that if I beat the considered as the best heavyweight based on skill, if I beat the best heavyweight based on skill, pound for pound, one of the best pound for pound in the world, then I feel that I can be ready and more than prepared for the rest. So this is the type of fight that he needs, right? Against a fighter, a very solid, very technically sound fighter like Jermaine Franklin, that people is calling a cherry pick. I disagree. And I'm not going to ever agree with you calling this man a cherry pick. And I'm not going to be like you other people that's going to just keep calling these fighters, disrespecting these fighters, not even knowing the history of the fighter, not even knowing what the fighter possesses, not even knowing the skills that he has, not even knowing what he's capable of, not even watching how he prepares for the fight, not even believing that he even got a chance. And then a lot of these fights end up being the upsets because you don't know nothing about the fighter. And now you're saying that this fighter, the fighter that's supposed to win the fight, has always been a hype job, a cab driver. Oh, he's a nobody. He's a this, he's a that, because he went up against another very talented, very skilled, fundamentally sound technician and a very dangerous boxer. Not just dangerous, but a very skillful boxer, a very skillful technician, and he loses. So now that fighter is a nobody and he's nothing. And even if he went in there and he tried and gave it his best, I guess that's not good enough. So what is going to be good enough? Or do you guys really know? Or do you guys really care? But I guess y'all so fixated on the way that these certain outlets, these certain boxing heads, or platforms want to program you to think that we gonna talk about every fighter that lose. He can be undefeated. He can be fighting the best guys out there. But when he lose, come on, hey man, we gonna get on this trend. We gonna get on this bandwagon and say that fighter ain't nobody. He was never nobody. Look, he just lost to this guy. He lost to this guy, lost to that guy. And the fight could have been close. The fight could have been very well competitive, very well challenging for him and the other fighter. But we want to find a reason to to tear down a fighter. We want to find a reason to talk trash about a fighter. Find a reason to hold them accountable. It's certain things we talk about, and there's certain things we have to talk about and we have to speak about regarding fighters using PEDs or performance enhancement drugs and things of that nature. Certain things we have to talk about, and we have to address the issue, address the situation. Because yes, we want the sport to be a clean sport, but the thing is, I can go deeper into a lot of fighters, how they do things. You know what I'm saying? But that's what I'm not gonna do. You know what I'm saying? A lot of fighters, I guess just they just pick and choose which ones they just pick and choose they want to pick and choose the ones they want to put on the forefront, put out there and make it public, and the ones they really want to target. You know what I'm saying? They just want to target certain ones. You know what I'm saying? Maybe ones that's starting to gravitate to an audience, and starting to get to that point where they know they can get to a massive audience. But at the end of the day, it's certain fighters that get passes. Certain fighters they decide to want to just throw out there and throw under the bus. You know what I'm saying? So if you're going to throw one fighter under the bus, you might as well why you can't throw all of them under the bus? Why? Because I guess you can't do it. You can't do it. It'll give boxing a really bad look. It'll give boxing a really put a dent in boxing and give boxing a really bad image. So I guess you ain't trying to throw a good percentage of these boxers under the bus. And I believe in the sport, and I believe in the sport being a clean sport. Y'all guys, give me a second. I believe in the sport being a clean sport, and fighters not cheating to get a stamina boost, to get an endurance boost. You know what I'm saying? To be able to have a long lasting engine, where they can probably end up going 20 rounds if it was a 20-round fight. They want to get that edge. They want to have the advantage. They ain't trying to lose. They're trying to win. You know what I'm saying? But it's only certain fighters that's being targeted. You know what I'm saying? But Sly Tendency says when the BBC interviewed him, he said that in the first Usyk fight, he wanted to prove he was a boxer and not just a bodybuilder. That's alarming. That's alarming because that tells me he's letting the noise get in his head. So I hear what you're saying, Sly Tendencies. So Sly Tendency says, I said no one knew who Jermaine Franklin was until he fought Dillian White. White lost that fight, by the way. Straight robbery. And I'm saying Sly Tendencies. And when I'm saying Sly Tendencies, I might need to strengthen this so I can see my face fully. When I'm saying Sly Tendencies, I hear what you're saying. I hear what you're saying, my great brother. Let me just strengthen this a little bit so I can see a little bit more of my face. There we go. I think that's a little better. But when I'm saying Sly Tendencies, what I'm saying is that nobody knew who Franklin was. Maybe us hardcore boxing fans and people that really pay attention to the sport, do the best we can to pay attention to the sport. Because I'm not coming at the people that's saying they don't know who Franklin is. I'm coming at the people that's saying that he's a cherry pick, and people saying that he's not this, he's not that. You know what I'm saying? This should be an easy fight for Joshua. You know what I'm saying? If he does go in there and destroy Franklin, he's just a better man. But not to say that Franklin is not a good fighter, because he's a good fighter. You know what I mean? Because I picked Joshua to win. I don't know if he wins by unanimous decision or by late technical knockout. But I do know that Franklin could win. It could be another close fight like a Dillian White fight. He can win by split decision. He can win by unanimous decision. I don't see a majority decision because I know that both fighters are coming to fight, and I know it could be close. But I would not be surprised if Franklin won by unanimous decision. Could he win by technical knockout? I don't see that. But it's a possibility he can win by technical knockout. Do I see Joshua winning by technical knockout? Yes. Do I see Joshua winning a unanimous decision? Yes. Do I see Franklin winning a unanimous decision? It's very possible. Yes. I would not be surprised if he won a unanimous decision. I would not be surprised if Joshua was to tire out in the later rounds and Franklin started to come on strong and he wins by technical knockout. Boxing is full of surprises. You never know what you're going to get into two fighter steps in the ring. But I'm telling you right now, do not count out, all I'm saying, do not count out Jermaine Franklin. Do not count out Anthony Joshua. Don't count out Anthony Joshua. If he defeats Jermaine Franklin, don't count him out. It's just that he was the better man with the better game plan and the better fighter on that evening or that night. If Jermaine Franklin win, he was just the better man. But that doesn't mean that they both didn't come to fight and they didn't give us a great epic battle, and both showed up in the fight and both was able to deliver a great performance. I would not be surprised if they both was to get in that ring and deliver us a great performance. And they both get in there and they have their moments. And they both get in there and give it their all, give it their best. And it'd be an epic battle. Like I said, a chess match. Both fighters starts to fill each other out, make the adjustments. You know, boom, they going back and forth. You know what I'm saying? Boom, boom, boom. You know what I'm saying? Franklin makes the adjustments. Joshua makes the adjustments. It becomes competitive. My brother Dragon Leg is in the building. Dragon Leg says, Andrew Tucker. What's good with you, Dragon Leg? Woo, Dragon Leg is in the building. One of the generals is in the building. But sly tendencies. Most definitely, bro. A lot of people felt that Dillian White lost that fight. A lot of people felt it was a close fight, but a lot of people felt Dillian White lost the fight. So a lot of people felt Dillian White. Some people felt Dillian White won the fight. Some people felt Franklin won the fight. And if Franklin gets past Joshua, maybe that can set up for a rematch. If Jermaine Franklin gets past Anthony Joshua, maybe that can set up for a rematch with Dillian White. Why not? Dillian White got away with the win. A lot of people felt he didn't deserve to win. Or Franklin edged in a close fight. He edged the fight by 2 rounds. Or maybe 3 for some people. You know what I mean? I think it was like one swing round that was real close that I slightly edged to Dillian. And then another round that made it a unanimous decision, 2 rounds over Franklin. He had 2 rounds over Franklin, and I got to go back and watch the fight because it was a very competitive, a highly competitive fight, and I think that it was close, man. I wouldn't have been mad. I wouldn't have been mad when it came to Franklin and Dillian White. I wouldn't have been mad with a draw. I wouldn't have been mad with a split decision for Jermaine Franklin or Dillian White. But when I went back to score the fight again, rewatched the fight, I slightly edged it by kind of like a round and a half, kind of like a round, maybe 1 round. And then 1 round was very close, like a swing round. So 2 rounds, yeah. So it's more like 7 rounds to 5 for Dillian White, kind of. But it's like 1 round over Franklin. 1 round was kind of like, could have been a split decision for Franklin. Or a split decision for Dillian White. Because I know what a lot of people was watching. I know what a lot of people was seeing in that fight. So it was just like that. The rounds was very close. But you can see why Dillian, landed 2 more punches or 3 more punches over Franklin in the rounds that he won. Even the rounds he won were very close. The rounds that Franklin won was very close. And then it was like maybe like two convincing rounds that he clearly won. Like same for Dillian. So it was like a close competitive fight, bro. That's all I'm saying. Adoree Pennant. Adoree, one of the generals. Adoree Pennant is in the building. He says Dillian White versus Luis Ortiz would be fireworks. Yeah, man. Like Dillian White versus Louis King Kong Ortiz. Maybe if Ortiz was like a couple of years younger, I would want to see that fight. I think right now, I think still even Ortiz is still a dangerous fight. Maybe for the likes of a Dillian White. But I think that Dillian gets him right now. I think that Dillian gets him. But don't get me wrong, Louis King Ortiz still has that nice crafty Cuban style. And I think he can set up that power shot, that power cross, that straight, hard, powerful right lead. I think that's the right lead to get him out of there. And he got a mean, vicious left uppercut too, man. Like Louis King Kong Ortiz that can very well get Dillian out of there, but Dillian can knock him out as well. Dillian got that vicious left hook, and also Dillian got that vicious right hand as well, and that vicious right uppercut. I mean, but like, listen, that's a good fight, man. I ain't gonna lie, that'll be a good fight. I think still right now, I think Ortiz have declined big time. I mean, even still giving Andrew Ruiz Jr. A very challenging fight, and it was a competitive fight between the two. But I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. Like they ain't the same King Kong Ortiz that fought against Wilder twice. The same Louis King Kong Ortiz that destroyed Brian Jennings, and certain other big heavyweights. That's not the same King Kong. He have declined. He have declined, man. He slightly declined. He has slightly declined. He's not really like the same fighter. I think like 3 years ago, maybe 4 years ago, Dillian White would have been in trouble, though, to be honest with you. But that would have still been a great fight, though. Adoree Pennant says Jermaine Franklin versus Daniel Dubois. Now that's a great fight stylistically. When I combine styles, you got some similarities, but I think that Jermaine Franklin is slightly the better counterpuncher between the two. I think that's the only difference between them two fighters, Adoree Pennant. I think that's the only difference. Between them two fighters. I think that's the only difference between them two fighters. I think that Jermaine Franklin is slightly the better counterpuncher. I think Dubois is he's slightly a bigger puncher. I think with Jermaine Franklin is more of accumulation of punches. Not saying he can't hit you with one good shot, one big power shot, get you and hurt you, or knock you out. Not saying he can't do that, but I think that with Daniel Dubois, it's more he got power. He can knock you out with one good shot, but it's also can sometimes be accumulation of power shots coming from him. That one good hard power shot that lands, hurts you real bad, have you on wobbly legs, that badly has you on shaky legs, and he comes on strong. I think Daniel Dubois is also a more vicious finisher as well. I think he's more of a deadlier finisher, if that makes sense. He's more of that technical brawler. Not saying that he's somewhat of a boxer puncher, but he's more of a technical brawler. He fights on the inside, like to beat you up, get you on the ropes, beat you up on the inside, boom body, bah, 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 boom, head, boom, come, and work down to the body, bah, bah, boom, bah, you know what I'm saying? He just like to mix it up on the inside mainly. I think Daniel can work off a jab when he wants to. He can set up the counters. They'll shut up the 1-2, the 1-2 hook, the 1-2, the 1-2-3. They like the 1-2, the jab, the right hand follow with the left hook, boom, set it up, the sneak up. I mean, he can mix up his attack very well. I just think that Franklin is a little bit more of the better counterpunch. He's more of the slightly, I don't know. I think he might be slightly a little more. Jermaine Franklin might be slightly a little bit more slicker than Daniel Dubois. But I I think when you combine styles, I think when you match up styles, I think it's very competitive though. That's just like one of them fights you really have to see. Like I think that'll be an entertaining fight. I think that'll be a good fight for Jermaine Franklin. If he loses against Joshua, I think if he loses against Joshua, I really think that's a good fight though. I'm not gonna lie. I think that'll be a good fight. Jared Anderson, will be a tough fight for him. I think that'll be a tough fight for Jermaine. For Jermaine Franklin. I think Philip Herkovich, a dangerous fight for Jermaine Franklin. I think Frank Sanchez is a very tough fight for Jermaine Franklin. I think Effie Ajaba is a very tough fight for Jermaine Franklin. I even think Joe Joyce is a monster, bro. I think that's a really dangerous fight for him. I think it's a good competitive fight, but I think Joe Joyce is a monster, bro. Like that's a very dangerous fight for him. You know what I mean? I'm trying to think. Andy Ruiz Jr. is a tough fight. Wilder is a dangerous fight for him. You know, Dragonlad says people forget that AJ lost to arguably 1 out of 3 pound for pound. Usyk made AJ a more experienced fighter. I agree with you 100%, Dragonlad. And that's what I was talking about earlier. That was basically what I was talking about earlier, bro. I was saying that earlier. I was saying that iron sharpens iron. Joshua able to keep up. Hold on. Dory Pennant says Jared Anderson versus Frank Sanchez would be fireworks. Man, that would be the best that would be one of the best heavyweight showdowns in a long time. Jared Anderson, you got two very skilled, very crafty, slick, pure boxer punches against each other, bro. I'm talking about you got two Jared Anderson, Frank Sanchez. We talking about two pure boxer punches against each other. Would be an electrifying night of heavyweight boxing. I'm talking about a highly competitive contest between two elite level pure technicians, pure boxer punchers. That will be an epic battle, bro. Like a Dory Pennant, Jared Anderson versus Frank Sanchez. We talking about a great night of boxing, bro. Dory Pennant says Dillian White versus Frank Sanchez would be very interesting. Yeah. Now the thing is, Dragon Leg, that's a fight that I am looking forward to because I think that people feel that Zhilei Zhang, you know, sometimes he can get a little reckless, and I think that's when Joyce is going to come and make the adjustments. I think when he tires out, Joyce has great endurance, great stamina. His conditioning always be guy's a monster. He barely gets tired. Even if he get tired, he does a good job at disguising when he gets tired. I think Joe Joyce is going to try to literally walk Zhilei Zhang down and try to break him. And I think he's looking forward to him gassing out and tiring out. And he's also looking for Zhilei Zhang sometimes to get a little reckless like he does. But when Zhilei Zhang is on his A game and he's boxing, setting up, using the jab to set up the 1-2, and when he's jabbing to the body, jabbing to the head, doing some smart boxing, that's gonna throw Joe Joyce off a little bit. I think that's why it's gonna be a competitive fight in a way. But I think it kind of gets to I think it gets towards the mid rounds, man. I don't know. It's a very exciting fight though. I think when you combine both styles, when I did film study, when I seen that the fight was announced, and I did film study, bro, and I was like, man, okay, I see how Zhilei Zhang can get Joyce. Okay, I see where Joyce can fall into this trap. Joyce can fall into that trap. Joyce is a very strong. He has that methodical style, man. He just got this methodical style that in that jab of Joyce, man. Zhilei Zhang got a solid jab too, but I think that they're gonna be pushing each other, man. And I think it's gonna come down to who is the strongest between the two. I don't think we just look at boxing skills. I don't think we just look at the skills that the fighters possesses, the things they're going to be doing, that's going to make the fight competitive. But I think it's going to come down to who is stronger and who has the will. Like, they both got the will to win, but who will is stronger? Who will is stronger? Who is the stronger fighter between the two? It's going to come down to who has the better conditioning. And I think the better conditioning between the two, we know, is Joe Joyce. Joe Joyce has the better conditioning. And I just think, man, I don't know. Zane kind of a certain age. So, I don't know. Joyce kind of getting up there a little bit in age. I think he may be a few years younger. I could be wrong, but that's gonna be a great fight, man. Dragon Leg says Zane. You got Zane for the win, Dragon Leg. Hey, my brother Mal C 117 my brother Mal C 117 is in the building. My brother say AJ KO within the 8th round. So my brother Mal C 117 says AJ is going to stop Franklin in the 8th round. It can happen. Hey, bro. Hey, Mal C117, man. Much love and respect, General. It can happen. I can see him stopping Franklin too, but I can see it being a great fight. I'm just telling people, don't look past Jermaine Franklin, because he's a solid fighter. He's a very good fighter, man. Some people felt he beat Dillian. Some people felt he lost against Dillian. Some people felt he won. He want to prove himself against the best. The kid is a solid opponent for Joshua. He is no cherry pick, so people can dismiss that cherry pick stuff. And we ain't trying to hear it over here. I ain't trying to hear it. At least I'm not trying to hear it. Because Jermaine Franklin is far from a cherry pick. And he showed me that his last 3 fights that he's not no cherry pick at all. That he is a tough, very skilled, fundamentally sound a boxer puncher that's going to come to fight. Was undefeated up until, I guess some people consider it as a robbery against Dillian White. But he's going up against a fighter that can box, that's in great shape, a fighter that's going to be doing some boxing, doing some smart boxing, that's going to get in there and make it a chess match with him and try to set up the big power shots and maybe get to the point where he feel like he's hurting Franklin, maybe walk him down, but it's going to be a great fight. Don't look past Franklin. Boxing is full of surprises. You never know what you're going to get when you got two crafty fighters in the ring. The experience goes to Joshua as far as fighting the top level guys. 2-time unified Olympic gold medalist, 2-time unified heavyweight champion. Joshua knows that he got to make a statement. Franklin looking to prove himself. This is a major step-up fight, a major test for Jermaine Franklin to prove himself against the top guys. He did it against one top guy and Dillian White. Now he got to prove it against a fighter that I feel is slightly a little bit more dangerous, slightly a little bit more of a technician, slightly a little bit more technically sound. You know what I'm saying? And Anthony Joshua, this is a major step up. This is a major test. Joshua's we don't just look at that he's big and strong, but we got to look at that Joshua also possesses the skills, the boxing ability to keep fighting, to keep going, to dig down deep, to show that grit, to show that toughness, to show that he has that mental fortitude to keep going, to bring out that dog, to bring out that monster, to bring out that animal. But at the same time, do some great boxing, break them down, make them think. Because if you're going against one of the best fighters in the world, pound for pound, with some of the fastest feet, some of the most amazing footwork that I've seen a heavyweight have in so long. I can name so many great heavyweights with good footwork, you know what I mean, with amazing footwork. Fury got some good movement, but like I'm talking about like an Ali. I'm talking about, I could keep naming quite a few heavyweights. But Alexander Usyk has that movement, that pivot game is on point. That lateral movement is on point. The pivot game, the turning, the working the angles is on point. And it's just great footwork, amazing footwork. Not just an amazing pure boxer puncher, a monstrous counter puncher, volume puncher. But Joshua was able to win 5 rounds the first fight. Some people said 4 rounds. I gave him 5 rounds the first fight against Alexander Usyk. I gave him 5 rounds. Some people gave him 4 rounds. I gave him 5 rounds in the second fight. And they're going up against that very difficult style. An elite level fighter, former cruiserweight undisputed champion, Super Series 6 winner. You know what I'm saying? Now the unified heavyweight champion, two-division world champion Alexander Usyk, Olympic gold medalist, long amateur pedigree, has seen so many styles, seen so many fights, and Joshua was able to get in there the first fight and win 5 rounds. Get into the second fight, iron sharpened iron. Alexander Usyk made Joshua better. Derek James said, "Man, listen, you're going to get that monster. That monster is going to come back, but you're going to get an even better fighter, an even better complete elite level fighter that you haven't seen the best of Joshua." People been saying this, but now Derek James, one of the best trainers in the world, he said that, man, this kid is on another level. This kid is a monster. These guys are going to be surprised because they never seen a guy that can really do it all before. This guy's really going to surprise the people. But we got Jermaine Franklin is saying that, listen, I'm a skilled fighter as well. I can box, I can counter, I can mix up the attack, I can throw the combinations, I can get in and out, I can use footwork when I have to, more flat-footed most of the time, but I'm in great shape. I slimmed down. He's a big and strong fighter, but being big and strong and everything. So it comes down to skill. Even Joshua can be bigger and stronger, but people dismissing that Joshua has the skills. That's what we talking about, the Olympic gold medalist. Joshua has the skills. We talking about the guy that had one of the best resumes in heavyweight boxing, along with Dillian White, and now Alexander Usyk. And then Fury resume solid, but I'm just gonna say these guys, fighting killer after killer, fighting monster after monster, fighting the best after the best. These guys, man, like, listen, Fury hesitating, and ain't no disrespect against Fury. Fury hesitating. I don't know what's the problem. What's the hold up? I don't know what is going on. You know what I'm saying? He getting into it with his dad. Maybe I don't know what's going on. But Fury know that Usyk is a threat. He know that he's a problem. Joshua ain't hesitate to take that fight with Alexander Usyk. Joshua stepped in there twice. Joshua ain't hesitate. Fury is doing a whole lot of hesitation, talking trash, running his mouth, but he ain't fighting. He ain't fighting. Joshua fought that man twice, and it were close fights. But proved himself against the best twice. And now he's going against a fighter that I feel, that some people feel is still should still be undefeated, who in a close fight defeated Dillian White. Now it's up against Joshua, wanting to prove himself in a major test against two-time unified heavyweight champion Anthony Joshua. You know what I'm saying? Like, I see this fight ending a few different ways. You know what I'm saying? But I know it's a good competitive fight. I feel Joshua wins this, but I could be wrong, y'all. I agree with some of y'all. You know what I mean? I agree. Some people feel it could be Franklin. People feel it's Joshua. I got Joshua. But I think but Franklin is a great fighter. He ain't no pushover. He ain't no cherry pick, man. I'm tired of these guys disrespecting these fighters, bro. I'm sick and tired of it, bro. Let's get to my brother's comments, man. Dragonlad said, I'm talking about Franklin versus Zhang. Yeah, Franklin versus Zhang is a good fight. Based on the styles, based on what both fighters possesses, based on the attributes, based on the skill set, I think that Zhang and Jermaine Franklin would be a great fight. I think that'll be a great fight based on styles, honestly. I think that's a very highly competitive fight that any one of those men can win that fight. Franklin can beat Zhang. Zhang can beat Franklin. I don't know why I was slightly edged. I don't know. That's 50-50 for me. I ain't gonna lie, Dragonlad. That's a 50-50 for me. Zhang has got power, but gas is out because of his size. Yeah, exactly. I agree 100%, Mal C117. That's 100% the truth. And that's the reason why I feel that not Dillian White, that's the reason why I feel against Zhang, Joe Joyce is going to start to break him down. He got this effective aggressiveness, right? He got this pressure that affects you mentally. So once he gets once Zhang gets to gassing out, fatiguing, he's in trouble, because that means that Joe Joyce is going to come on strong and stop him. I can see a late round technical knockout for Joe Joyce, and a great fight though, because Zhang going to win some rounds. You better best believe that. That boy can box his butt off. You know what I'm saying? But it's going, I can see Zhang Zhang fading, and yes, because of the size and things. Yeah, I agree with you 100%, Mal C117. Dari Pennant says Philip Herkovich versus Jarrell Miller would be fireworks. Oh, yes, sir. Hey, but I'm not going to lie. I wouldn't be surprised if Philip Herkovich actually lost that fight. I would not be surprised at all. Even though I would lean towards Philip Herkovich stopping for the first time, Jarrell Miller being stopped by a really hard-hitting power puncher, and Philip Herkovich, a very deadly counter puncher, and Philip Herkovich. But I wouldn't be surprised if Jarrell Miller overwhelming him with accumulation of punches and overwhelming him with so many punches, and Philip Herkovich gassing out, Jarrell Miller coming on strong. I mean, that's going to be a great fight, though. That would be fireworks. I ain't going to lie. Adoree Pennant, that would be fireworks. I would love to see that. I ain't going to lie. I would love to see that. I ain't going to lie. That would be, for me, that would be a highly anticipated heavyweight showdown for me. Because I tune into that, bro. I'm going to pay, even if it was a pay-per-view, I'll pay the pay-per-view. But if it's on one of those networks for free, I mean, where I can pay for the app, the streaming app, then I'm on and popping, baby. I'm watching that fight because that's one, Adoree Pennant. That's one fight I can't miss. Adoree Pennant says, do you think Bomac can train a heavyweight boxer? I don't know. It's a possibility, though. It's a possibility he probably can train a heavyweight boxer. I wouldn't be surprised if a heavyweight fighter came over to Team Crawford and came over to work with Bomac. I think he'll do good with working with heavyweights, to be honest with you. I think he'll be the perfect trainer to help a heavyweight further perfect his craft and make some adjustments and work on some things. I can see Bomac working with a heavyweight, to be honest with you. Just like Derek James, and a lot of other great trainers that work with heavyweights, Virgil Hill Stewart, a lot of trainers like that. I've seen them work with heavyweights. They'll do a great job. Like a Floyd Mayweather Sr. He'll be good. He'll be great. He'll be a great trainer for a heavyweight. Rodney Shields, Virgil Hunter. It's a lot of great trainers, man. I can name. You know what I mean? Be honest with you. Adoree Pennant, like Vasily Lomachenko's father, will be a great trainer. I can see him working with some heavyweights. You know what I'm saying? A great friend of mine's, me and the J. Ruse Theory, a great friend of ours, James Ali Bashir, a great trainer, the perfect trainer for working with heavyweights. Former trainer of Alexander Usyk. And now he has one fighter that he trains, Vladislav Sarenko, which is a solid young fighter. You know what I'm saying? He just got some things he got to work on. My brother Mal C117 says 100 pounds AJKO round 7, 9 brings 350 pounds. Okay, Mal CC, you put man, what's going on, man? You put You betting nice little decent change on AJ, bro. You really believe in that knockout, huh? Okay. Hey, that would be a nice little scratch right there, Mal C117. That'd be a nice little scratch. 100 pounds on the AJKO, round 7 through 9 brings 350 pounds. That $100 investment, that 100 pound investment turns into a 350 pound investment. Hey man, do your thing, bro. You about to make some good little money. You know what I'm saying? Make some good little money over there, boy. 100 pounds turns into 350 pounds. You bet 100 pounds. And for the KO, within the rounds, let's say round 7 and 9, brings 350 pounds. Okay, generates. Okay, well you collect 350 pounds with betting 100 pounds for the 7th to 9th round knockout. Okay, that's pretty decent. That's what's up, my bro. Make that money, bro. Hey, Dwight says, yup, Franklin is a decent fighter. Got great skills, excellent jab too. His size though, I think is a big issue, especially against Joshua. Yeah, Dwight says, yup, Franklin is a decent fighter. Got great skills, excellent jab too. His size though, I think is a big issue, especially against Joshua. Yeah, man, I think, I don't really look at the size. I just look at the skills of the fighter. My brother Dwight is in the building, my twin. Hey man, you still got the chair? You still got the chair, man? You still got the chair? I gotta get on StreamYard. I might do StreamYard for the live commentary. That's right. Your boy doing live commentary for the Joshua and Franklin fight. But I might have to see, man, if you invite you on, man, so I can see that chair, man. See if you still got the chair. You know what I'm saying? See if you still my twin. Hey, but so Dwight says, yeah, I see. Sometimes size could be an issue though. Sometimes Joshua and Mike can just be big and strong, and this time, even a far more a slightly even more dangerous fighter than the one that went up against Alexander Usyk. So being a little bit more dangerous, slightly a little bit more craftier, slightly a little bit more skillful, and then on top of that having the power and the size could be a deadly, and I repeat, a deadly combination. That could be a deadly combination, bro. A deadly combination. A very deadly combination. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna lie, that could be a very, very deadly combination. You being the bigger fighter, the stronger fighter, and then on top of that, you have become a little bit more fundamentally sound, further perfected your craft, a little bit more slightly better skilled than you was your last 3 fights, and then on top of that, having the punching power, then on top of that, having the size, and then on top of that, just probably being better than you was your last 3 fights, being a better version of yourself, like a combination of all that, and then having Derek James like saying that this guy, it's not just the power, it's just gonna be the skills. It's gonna be, man, maybe we get like a Joshua that goes in there, that starts sticking and moving, jabbing to the body, jabbing to the head, jabbing to the body, set up the right hand, follow with a hook, set up the beautiful double jab, follow up with a nice 1-2. Sneak, maybe he gonna be doing some pot shotting, and then maybe he starts to turn it up a little bit once he made the adjustments and start going to the body, going back upstairs to the head, going to the head, and then going back down to the body, mixing up his attack, bringing back that killer, just going for broke. Like, just leaving it all in the ring. Just like, I don't care about getting knocked out. I'm going to give it my all. I'm going to come at this guy. I'm going to cut the ring off. I'm going to come with this effective aggressiveness. I'm going to apply pressure. I don't care about gassing out. I don't care about getting tired because I'm going to be in great shape. I don't care about none of that. I'm just going to bum rush this dude. I'm going to be hitting this dude with some beautiful jabs. Pop, pop. Pop, pop, boom! Come back with the right hand. Also, I'll use my distance. I'll use my reach. Work from the outside. Pop, pop, boom, boom! Come back with the hook. Pop, pop, boom, boom! And then what I'm saying, get in range, get the combination off, and then get out of range. Get in, combination, get in, 1-2, get in, 1-2-3, get in, 1-2-3-4, get out. Working my angles, maybe working angles, countering from angles. Boom, setting up power shots from angles. I don't know, bro. I'm seeing a monster. Like, but you can't sleep on Jermaine Franklin, though. You can't sleep on Jermaine Franklin, though, bro. He's a solid fighter. He ain't no cherry. The guy can fight. Man. Jermaine Franklin can fight. I think it's going to be a challenging fight for Joshua. I think it's going to be a really great fight. You can't sleep on him. Don't sleep on him, though. He ain't no cherry pick guy. You know, you got these channels out here talking about cherry pick, not giving Joshua credit. You know what I'm saying? They probably ain't going to give Joshua credit if he fights the likes of, if he goes on to fight the likes of another fighter, if he goes on to fight the likes of say, for instance, if he fight, because I know that fight going to be a dangerous fight, and I know that's going to be a tough fight if they ever meet. Say, for instance, if he fight the likes of a Wilder, they probably ain't going to give him credit for beating Wilder. They probably ain't going to give him credit for beating Wilder in a great fight or a close fight or knocking out Wilder. Because they be like, oh, Wilder's too old. Wilder ain't the same fighter. They ain't going to give these fighters credit. Or if Wilder was to do the same thing. Or if he goes on to fight Fury. You know what I'm saying? Maybe then. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, right now, you know, he can only fight the fighter that comes before him and that steps up and that steps up to take the challenge, or that basically that fight he needs to kind of get back, put himself back in position to prepare for the other top guys. You know what I'm saying? Maybe he needs, like, I'm not finna say no tune-up because Jermaine Franklin ain't no tune-up. This kid is a solid boxer puncher, bro. He ain't no tune-up. So maybe he needs this type of fight to see where he's at, to get him back in position, to get him back in rhythm, to prepare for certain fights and certain styles. It ain't over. Joshua ain't done yet. Franklin is starting to step up and feel that he wants to fight the best because he feels that he believes in his skills. He believes in his abilities. He believes he can beat the top guys. He felt they robbed him against Dillian. So, okay, now it's time to get Joshua. If I can get Joshua out the way and then go get a rematch with Dillian, then maybe I can fight some of these other top guys and prove that I can beat these guys. You know what I'm saying? So at least he's willing to step up and fight the best. No, Joshua willing to prove himself against the younger fighter. He's looking to prove himself against the younger fighter. He's looking to prove himself against this one fighter. A lot of people believe, some people, not a percentage of people, a good percentage of people believe Dillian White's lost to Jermaine Franklin. It's a good little percentage believes that Dillian White won the fight in a very close fight. Could have been considered a draw, split decision against Franklin. So that's the reason why Franklin got the Joshua fight. Because he should still be undefeated. Getting past Dillian White, going up against another major test in Anthony Joshua. You got to respect him for that. The man ain't no cherry pick. Based on skills and the attributes, he ain't no cherry pick. But maybe this might be a major test. Maybe this might be a fight that he's taken very seriously and he's prepared so hard for, and that he just really believes in his talent, believe in his skills, believe in his abilities, believe that he is fundamentally sound enough to compete against the best. And this is a major test against a dangerous boxer puncher and former two-time unified heavyweight champion. Former two-time unified heavyweight champion in Anthony Joshua. Maybe this might be walking into one big hole that you can't get yourself out of. But he's here and willing to prove himself that against the best, against the top heavyweights, against the top dogs. And if you guys been following him, you know that he's put himself in position to get this fight. You know what I'm saying? Other fights, it was difficult to make. Other fighters was running off this way, running off that way, running off this way. It was one fight that Joshua team got in the way of, and we know what fight that is, and I didn't like that. But we got this young fighter right here that some people may consider still undefeated. That some people may consider still undefeated fighter that never lost. That he was robbed in his last fight. Before he got robbed, he was undefeated. Not beating guys, outboxing guys, knocking guys out, beating guys. Undefeated fighter in Jermaine Franklin. I was paying close attention to this guy. Once I first discovered Jermaine Franklin a year ago, I was like, oh, this kid's solid. I like this guy can fight. This guy can box. I like this guy's style. I like his aggression. I like his ferociousness. I like his grit, his toughness. I like the fact that he will go to war with you, and I like the fact that he can outbox you when he wants to. But he's in there. He's climbing a big hill. He's climbing a big hill, and when I say a big hill, he's climbing a big hill, going up against this version of Joshua, because I believe it's going to be a different version of Joshua, and a slightly better version of Joshua that went up against Usyk twice, won the rematch. I mean, that destroyed Alexander, destroyed Krubet Pulev, and that won a unanimous decision against Andrew Ruiz Jr. in the rematch. I think it's a better version of Joshua and a much more dangerous version that Jermaine Franklin will be stepping in the ring against. You know what I'm saying? Let me get to my brother's comments before I get up out of here. My brother Adori Pennant says Anthony Joshua versus Jared Anderson. Man, I don't want to see that fight, bro. Hey, Adori Pennant, just let's not even talk about that fight, bro. But listen, man, that's a great fight right there. I'm gonna tell you the truth though. That fight could be an upset, and I'm not talking about Joshua. The fight could be an upset because we know that Jared Anderson is a very fundamentally sound, very skilled pure boxer puncher. The kid can box his butt off. The kid can fight. But it could be a major upset because the kid is undefeated going into the fight with the experience, two-time Olympic gold medalist, two-time unified heavyweight champion in Anthony Joshua, right? And maybe it was some areas that he was green in and Joshua could exploit. And it could lead to an upset. Or the kid is really that good and gets in there and make it a war. It's a chess match, a very highly competitive fight. At first, a thinking man fighter type of fight in the first couple of rounds. They start to make the adjustments. Anthony Joshua, boom. Jared Anderson, boom. I think that Jared Anderson can stop Joshua, technical knockout, not no one-punch knockout. And I think that Joshua can stop Jared Anderson, technical knockout, or maybe one-punch knockout. But more of the pure boxer would slightly edge Jared Anderson, but I think more of the strength and the power and the size of Joshua I don't know, man. That's a great fight, though. Stylistically, you get a very competitive, entertaining fight between two technicians and two dangerous punchers. Boxer punchers. One is a pure boxer puncher. One is a technical brawler boxer puncher in Joshua. Jared Anderson is a pure boxer puncher. You know, and a little bit more elusive. You know what I'm saying? I can't say faster on his feet because I think Joshua has gotten faster on his feet. I think that's highly competitive fight, bro. I think Adori Pennant, that's like the best fight. That's like gonna be like one of the best heavyweight fights and best heavyweight showdowns in a long time between them two guys right there. You know, you say Joshua and Deontay Wilder, or you say Joshua and Fury, but I say Joshua and Jared Anderson. It's one also know. Maybe soon in the next year or two can be one of those fights. Big fights, bro. We never know. My brother Mal C117 says bigger fish in the sea for AJ. For AJ, pal. Hey, and Mal C117 says bigger fish in the sea for AJ. Yeah, I feel you on that. Mal C117 says, but yeah, would be a good fight. I agree with you 100%. 100%. Mal C117 says, I'll have you a straight bet if you up for it, Andrew. Laughing out loud, cheeky 50. Hey man, I'm not bet. Hey, listen. Hey, Mal C117. I would never. Listen. I'm sorry, bro. I used to be a betting man. But I am not betting. On this fight, bro. I'm sorry, bro. I can't do it, man. Like, my money is tied up. Man. I can't bet on this fight. But if I was to bet, Mal, I'm going to just say this. Mal C117, I'm going to just say this, General, that my bet my bet would be something like your bet, and the bet would be for a knockout. You know what I'm saying? For a fighter. My bet would be kind of similar to your bet if I was to bet. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not no longer a betting man. I kind of retired on that. But I think that's a good bet you got going though. That's a good bet you got going on, Mal C117. That's a good bet you got going on. My brother Mal C117 says soon to be 3 times, bro. Hey man. Listen. I'm telling you right now, bro. It's a great fight between these two guys, between Joshua and Franklin. It's a great fight, but I'm gonna tell you like this here. Joshua goes on. He gets past Jermaine Franklin. I'm letting you know right now, I can see 3 times. I can see 3 times. But to be honest with you, potentially Joshua can go on to continue the mission that was at hand. And that mission was to become undisputed. Getting past Franklin, beating Franklin, which is a very good fighter, beating Franklin, making a statement, will once again put Joshua in position to prepare, to continue to dominate, to continue to go on to be great, for legacy, to become undisputed. It's some tough fights in front of him. It will be other tough fights in front of him, but I believe getting past Jermaine Franklin in a spectacular fashion, in a somewhat dominant way, puts Joshua in position once again for the conversation for undisputed. We ain't got time for fighters that want to play games and play around and act like they don't really and because of their actions. Not saying that they don't want undisputed, not saying they don't want to solidify their legacy, but we ain't got time for fighters that want to hold a belt hostage, play around, and when one fighter that really wants, that's not just all about the money, but really also about the legacy, and was able to agree to a low percentage split. Not saying that Fury's not entitled to have the higher end, but agreed to something like a 730, and they thinking he was gonna be like, nah, we ain't. Usyk and his team gonna be like, nah, we ain't taking that 730. We ain't taking that. I believe Usyk and his team would have even accepted an 80-20 split, because that's how bad Usyk want legacy. Just like Joshua want legacy. Want his legacy solidified. Wants to solidify his legacy and want his legacy to be something that's going to transition and continue to be talked about, going into the Hall of Fame and everything. But secure a legacy, becoming undisputed. It's the very last task. Fury's playing around. Usyk ain't playing around. Usyk and his team will agree to a 730. They will agree to an 80-20. They just want to take that WBC title off his hands. We deserve undisputed. How long we been waiting for heavyweight undisputed? We deserve that. We don't need fighters playing around, a fighter playing around, talking trash and playing around and acting like when the other fighter who has the other 3 major titles is agreeing to everything that they are offering him with no problem, because he wants legacy. It ain't just about the money. It's about legacy, becoming undisputed. Usyk ain't playing around. Fury's playing too many games. Stop talking trash. If you're going to talk trash after the fight has been officially announced. After the fight has been done. After the fight has the contract signed and negotiation, everything has been agreed upon, and everything is pretty much a done deal, and the fight is officially announced, and then you talk your trash. But don't talk trash and you dancing around the undisputed bout because Usyk is calling your bluff. He's calling your bluff. Agreeing to the splits, 70-30. Come on, man. Playing games and negotiations, they ain't worried about that. Y'all guys can have the biggest piece of the pie. They just really want that title. They know the money is going to come. The stock is going to rise. They just want legacy. Usyk just want legacy, and Fury playing games. Joshua want legacy. I'm pretty sure he gets past Franklin. It could be any one of these top guys, but I know the guy he really aiming for is probably a rematch with Alexander Usyk or either Fury. That's what Joshua wants. He wants to become undisputed. Ain't no playing games. Ain't no playing games with Joshua. Ain't no playing games with Alexander Usyk. These guys mean business. These guys are not playing around. Fury got to stop playing these mind games and thinking he can get into everybody's head and play these childish games. I think it's a mental problem right there. I think it's a mental condition. And so I just pray for the brother. But he can't be holding that belt hostage and playing around. And we are owed. We deserve undisputed. Respect to all the fighters. But we deserve and been wanting undisputed for a very long time now. And we deserve the opportunity to witness undisputed between two great fighters. That's all we ask. That's all we ask. That's all we ask for as boxing fans. That's all we ask for. And Joshua is not playing around. After this, if he defeats Jermaine Franklin, puts himself back in that undisputed talk, he might have some tough fights that he might have in front of him coming forward. But Joshua's gunning. He's gunning for the top. He's gunning from the top of the top. He's gunning and he's climbing, and he's gonna keep running up that mountain until he reaches the top. Joshua is not going to stop. He's gonna keep running up that mountain until he reaches the top. The same thing with Usyk. He only needs one last piece of the puzzle for the puzzle to be complete. My brother Danny in the building, he says, yo, Danny Up. He says, Danny Up the Red says, yo, what's going on with you, my great brother? Yeah, man, I'm finna get ready to end this live stream in a little bit, man. You know, it's good. It's so good to see you, brothers, man. But we had to talk about this, man. We had to have this conversation. We had to talk about this. I had to address some things, man. My brother Dwight, much love and respect to you, my brother. My brother Adory Pennant, my great brother. He says, Andrew Tucker, you are speaking the truth. Undisputed needs to happen. 100%, Adory Pennant. 100%, my great brother. That's all we asking. That's all we want. That's all we need. That's all we've been asking for years. That's all we want. It's heavyweight undisputed, bro. That's it. And I know that's what the fighters should want. They should want to solidify their legacy. They should want the legacy-defining fight. They should want to move on to be great. And then after that, defend their titles and retire. Nothing else left to prove. Brendan Smith said, I think Wilder versus Usyk is better. Yeah, I think that's a great fight as well. Brendan Smith, much love and respect to my great brother, Brendan Smith. Yeah, I think that's another great fight as well. And I think those fighters is stepping back up. These fighters are stepping back in the ring to prove for legacy. I think it's a little more than I think it's a little more than the money. I don't think it's just the money. You know, yes, the money is good. Yeah, the big fights is good. You make good money. Yeah, fighters are prize fighters. They deserve the reward for all the hard work and especially giving us great fights. But I think that fighters want the legacy. They want their legacy to be stamped. They want their legacy to be stamped. They want to be undisputed. I know Wilder got back in the ring to become undisputed. I know Joshua is still pushing to become undisputed. And I know Usyk is only one belt away to becoming undisputed. Fury playing games, and man, and I'm sick of it. I'm tired of it. I love Fury, but you got to stop playing these games, man. It's sad. It's embarrassing. It's not funny anymore, bro. It's kind of embarrassing. My brother Mousy 117 says they should have a 4-man tournament. AJ Usyk, Big Joe, and Joe Joyce. Yeah, that I would love that tournament, man. If that tournament, uh, I don't know, man. I'll pay some good money for that tournament, bro. Cause that would be that's something boxing really need a tournament. Like if they make a tournament happen, then I know that we gonna get undisputed because ain't no running, ain't no cutting corners, ain't no running, ain't no going in different directions. That's what we need a tournament. I agree with you 100%. Mal C 117, I agree with you 100%, bro. That's what we really need is a tournament. Brendan Smith says I think Wilder and Usyk is better. Brendan Smith says people still say Plant is not a good fighter. Plant is a great fighter. So is David Benavidez. You know what I'm saying? Plant. I'm gonna say this before I get up out of here. My brother Mouse C117 says, wild card Wilder. Yeah, there you go again, bro. There you go, you back. Brendan Smith says, I would not be surprised if Wilder KO Usyk. No, I wouldn't be surprised either. If he can catch him. But I think that's a good competitive fight, though. I've seen Wilder perfect his craft a little, and worked on some things. It's starting to move and you stick your move, work the jab, set up the 1-2, boom, boom, set up the counter right hand, boom, boom, slip a little uppercut. I think it's gonna be a really competitive fight between two fighters that's not too far from cruiserweight or bridgerweight fighters, whatever. Yeah, I think that'll be a competitive fight. I slightly lean towards Usyk, but yeah, Wilder can knock him out. You know, it's a good fight though. Brendan Smith says, Adori Penna says Anthony Joshua will become a heavyweight champion again. Absolutely, I can see it. I can see it, man. I really can see it. You know what I'm saying? I believe that all these heavyweight fighters, man, all the top 15 fighters, man. It's a lot of great fighters in the top 20, honestly, not just the top 10, the top 5. Like, it's a lot of great fighters, man. A lot of great, tough, dangerous heavyweights in the top 20 and the top 10 and the top 5. And Joshua is one of those best, one of the best. He's one of the best. And one day soon he can probably prove that he is the best. You know what I'm saying? So we shall see. But much love and respect to all these great warriors, all of the very tough and dangerous heavyweights in the heavyweight division, one of my favorite divisions. Very exciting division. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not gonna lie, man. Like, I'll be honest with you. You know, I'll be honest with you, man. This gonna be a tough fight Saturday, man. And it'll be a tough fight. You know, it's gonna be a very tough fight this Saturday. I lean towards Joshua. I wouldn't be surprised if it go 12 if he won a unanimous decision. Franklin has an opportunity to win a split decision or a unanimous decision. I don't see him winning by technical knockout or nothing like that. I mean, but boxing full of surprises, it can happen. I can see Joshua winning by knockout or technical knockout, 9th round, 10th round, maybe 8th round, maybe 8th, 9th, 10th, or Franklin winning unanimous decision. I don't see him stopping Joshua. I mean, it's not saying that it can't happen, but I don't see him stopping him. I mean, so if he wins, it's more of a close fight because I think it's going to be a highly competitive fight between these two guys. Joshua can just get in there and just be bigger and stronger fighter. Take everything that Franklin is bringing at him, and it just might not be good enough. You never know when Joshua gets in there and just run over him. You never know what's going to happen when two fighters step in the ring. I'm not counting out Jermaine Franklin, and I know Joshua not looking past him. He respects this guy. He know what this guy is capable of. Just like I know what this guy is capable of. Just like I know what this guy possesses. And we can't look past Jermaine Franklin. He's a solid fighter. Much respect to this guy. You know what I'm saying? But sometimes it's levels to this game. And maybe Joshua might prove that he's just on another level. Not just a bigger and stronger fighter. My brother Adori Pennant says Zali Zane versus Louis King Kong Ortiz. I already broke that fight down, Adori Pennant. I already told you that'll be a good fight based on styles. You know what I'm saying? Both fighters is of age, and I just think they both fatigue, gases out. So it'll be whoever catches who first. But I think Louis King Kong Ortiz could probably knock Zali Zhang out. You know what I'm saying? I don't know, because maybe slightly better conditioning, even for him to be 42 years old. I think, you know what I'm saying. I don't think age gonna have nothing to do with that one, because they both up there. But I just think, based on the fundamentals and based on the skill set of both fighters, I think it's highly competitive until somebody wins by technical knockout. You know what I'm saying? Somebody's gonna get knocked out though. My brother, UGC Flame, if you're not subscribed, go subscribe to my bro, one of the best boxing channel in the YouTube boxing community, one of the generals, the leader of the UGC, the Black Horseman, UGC Flames. Much love and respect to you, my great brother. Thank you for coming through, man. I'm about to get ready to end this, but I'm thank you for coming through. Always been showing love, man. I'm going to get over there, man, whenever you go live, to show you some love as well, bro, because you know how it is, man. We family. You know, we family, bro. We've been doing this for years, bro, and we family. You one of those guys, man, that I have so much love and respect for. It ain't even funny. And the guy is very funny, very funny, very hilarious. But he knows his boxing, and he's one of the generals. You know, he's one of the real generals of the YouTube boxing community. Much respect to you, UGC Flame, the Black Horseman, and that's real. Adori Pennant says Oscar Rivas versus Frank Sanchez would be fireworks. Oh yeah, Oscar Rivas versus you talk about two crafty pure boxer punchers going at it. Oscar Rivas, very crafty, very slick style against a Frank, that Cuban style, very crafty, inside fighter, outside fighter, technical brawler, amazing footwork, great counter-punching ability. Like, you talking about Frank Sanchez, man, and just that all-around complete fighter. Great footwork, lateral movement, pivot game is crazy, working angles. He can work the angles beautifully, you know, working off the jab, setting up the 1-2, setting up the combinations. You know, the head movement, the defense is solid. Just an all-around complete fighter, bro, against Oscar Rivas, a guy that's a technical brawler, can also be that dangerous boxer puncher, is a volume puncher, is a volume puncher mainly, and just overwhelms you with so many shots coming from so many different directions. And he also good at working the angles, but I don't know. I think Frank Sanchez may edge that fight, but I think it's highly competitive though. I would not be surprised if Frank Sanchez won by unanimous decision. Oscar Rivas is dangerous though. He can put him down. If he ain't on his A game though. He can put Frank down, but I got Frank winning that one though. It's a great fight though. Mal C117 says going myself, bro. Take care, and let's all box again soon. Enough love, people. Love you, my brother. Mal C17. Thank you for joining me, man. Much love and respect. UGC Flame says much respect back, fam. Hey man, that's forever, bro. Adore Pennant says Joe Joyce versus Frank Sanchez would be interesting. Man, that'll be an epic battle, bro. That'll be one to see. I can break that fight down one day. If it ever announced and ever take place and ever happens, I can see myself breaking that fight down. I think that'll be a great fight. That'll be a very interesting fight to see for Joe Joyce versus Frank Sanchez. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, guys, that's my time, man. I love every single one of my brothers in here, man. Thank every single one of you guys for joining me. Hey, man, I'm doing live commentary this Saturday. Hopefully I have our big bro, one of my big brothers, one of the generals, the J. Roos Theory, with me as the co-host. And we cover the Joshua and Franklin fight, or the card. We might try to cover the whole entire card. But I love you guys, man. I appreciate every single one of you guys, man. And I love every single one of you brothers, man. Much love and respect forever. Shout out to the entire UK Army, Tucker Army. Love you guys, and I'm out. Much love and respect.